unpopular.
Alright, hello everyone. Playing more EverQuest today with Gert Gaming. Probably gonna stay on my monk. Probably won't be as long as yesterday. Yesterday we streamed about 6 hours. Today I had to do a ton of chores and cutting the grass and housework and stuff, and it took up most of my day, so probably do a short stream today. Probably. We'll see though. This game's kind of addictive.
Don't have. Now I realize that monks also have utility that rogues don't have. I realize that that's kind of a two-way street. I know that monks can pull, and I know that pulling and split pulling became a very important part of how raiding and the game developed. But it is, yeah, and you know where I was going with Sneak. But it is very obvious getting around lockpicking is niche. Okay, I see what you're saying. However, it is very obvious from the way that the game was designed that pulling with feign death, the way that it's done, was not intended. That is called emergent behavior. The developers put something into the game, and the players found it and found a unique and useful avenue with which to use it. Ah, there you are. Here, take this. Stand still so I can give you some treats. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. You need that. You need that. You need that. And you need that. That's all tattered. I'm not done. I'm not done, Retro. I'm not done. I'm just distracted, which happens a lot. Okay. Think. Actually, you know what? Here, take a couple of these too, because this is a ton of food.
Oh,
Actually, I'll
I
just give
have
you
some. He
one.
gave me some fish rolls already, so you can keep them.
How many did he give you?
A bunch. He probably gave me as much as he gave you.
Well, can't take them out of the trade, so it's whatever. It's not a big deal. So, there.
Thank you again, John.
Yes, thank you again. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I think that's it. I think that's everything. I need to put this belt in my inventory or my bank eventually. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So, what I was saying, feign death and being used for pulls is emergent behavior. It is very clear that whenever the developers were making the game, they did not intend for feign death to be used in the manner that the players started using it. Now, they did what they should have done, which is basically nothing. Because nothing sucks more than players determining a new and unique use for an ability, and then the developers going in and saying, that's not how you're supposed to have fun, and then changing the ability. Nothing sucks more than that. So they did what they should have done, which was nothing. But aside from feign death, monks bring very little to the table in terms of utility. And there are classes that are very clearly designed to do pulling. For instance, druids with snares, rangers with roots and snares, bards with roots, snares, charm song. There are classes that were designed very obviously with pulling in mind. Now, they all ended up basically being not as good at pulling as the monk because of how NPC pathing and feign death interacted. But monks, the only thing that they were really able to do, or that they were intended to do, was damage and then have a get out of jail free card whenever things turn south in feign death.
It may be emergent behavior, but one thing to take into consideration is once they saw players doing it, did they patch it? Did they change it? Or did they say, oh, that's really cool and leave it in? Because I don't remember patch history.
No. They said that's really cool and they left it in, and that's what they should have done. That's what they should have done.
Because it could be that it wasn't the initially intended, but once they saw how good it was, they intended the class to evolve that way.
You bring the rogue because your buddy plays one and he needs DKP2. Okay, that's kind of an ironic point. Now, see, the only sue for rogue issue. Okay, so there's also detect traps. So there's lockpick, detect traps, hide, sneak, for corpse runs. Now, see, all of that stuff is utility. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, it's not important utility. Traps aren't done well in vanilla EQ." I 100% agree. 100% agree that traps are not done well in vanilla EverQuest. They're not. There's no argument there. That is 100% true. In a perfect game, I would have had monks be the number one. I would have had monks be the number one damage dealers. I would have. I would not have nerfed feign death to make it not work as a pulling tool, but I would have buffed the pulling tools that other classes that were intended to be pullers got, so that they could compete and be on the same level, so that there wouldn't be so much of a call for monks to pull. Because eventually it got to the point where every group wanted a monk for pulling. The same reason why every group wanted a cleric for healing and resurrection, and every group wanted an enchanter for mez, is they did their class roles and they did them well. They did their class roles. They did their class roles well, but they did their class roles so well that there's almost no reason to not use that class for that role. How far behind me are you? Did you not? You didn't have Sal, did you?
I did, but I didn't know you were going to Befallen, so it took me a moment to realize what was going on.
Oh. Now, and yes, retro rogues are a DPS class, and I'm not saying that rogues shouldn't be a DPS class, but at the end of the day, monks are also a DPS class, as are rangers. Now, there's a wide gap.
Oh, hey, Ben Reed. So what I did is, I really liked the classic UI, the stone UI that you're looking at. And, green server doesn't allow, any kind of modifications. So there's nothing I could do to make it look like that. So I was curious if I could make it look like it on stream at least. And so I created an overlay using the graphics. And then I put all the appropriate bars and everything in the right spots to make it look like it's classic UI. Just for nostalgic reasons.
Like a 1% rare spawn. Instead of a mob spawning, a chest spawns. And it's locked. And you need a rogue to open it. Or maybe you could have a character with high strength break the chest, and you'd get less loot, but you'd still get loot. And that way you'd have incentive for a rogue, but you wouldn't need one. I would have locked doors.
Yeah, it took like 4.5, 5 hours of work off and on.
I would make I would make
But I'm
rogues the
satisfied with it. There's a
masters
lot of
of
things I wish
all
I
of
could
the
make
out
even
of
better,
combat
but it works
utility
well how
that
it
would need to
is.
get done in a dungeon. And then tone back their damage, not a ton, but a little bit. I'd let them keep their backstab, assassinate, burst damage tools, but I would try the shark tooth out. Okay. What it
See,
is.
I can alter it.
I would
So I
let
can
them
make the
keep their
left
burst damage
vanish,
tools, but
I
I
can
would
make the
tone back
right
the
vanish,
sustained damage.
I can make the
And I'd
bar,
make
health
it so that their
bars and stuff
burst damage
disappear.
was
Everything is
less
separate, and I had to compile
DPS.
it all,
Their burst damage plus their low sustain, their high
which is
burst plus low
crazy.
sustain was less total DPS than amongst sustained damage.
It probably uses a lot more
And I
of
think
my
that that would
computer
make it
hardware as well to render all of it.
I think that that would be a good way. I think that would put rogues in a good place. It would also bring them a little bit closer to Dungeons and Dragons and what rogues do in Dungeons and Dragons, because they're skill masters in Dungeons and Dragons. Now, this is a very fast weapon. I like it a lot. Woof, woof, woof. Jeez. Multiple class roles: defensive support, offensive support, tank, DPS, puller. I see where you're coming from. I think that all classes in EverQuest can be broken down into 3 main roles. I think every class in EverQuest can be broken down into
The Holy
tank.
Trinity.
Yep. Well, it's a different Holy Trinity than what most people would call it, though. I would say that every class in EverQuest can be broken down into tank, healer, and utility. And the reason why I put it that way, instead of the traditional tank, healer, DPS, is because all of the classes do damage. Even clerics do amazing damage against undead. So let's see what we got here. So I successfully picked the lock. Woohoo! Cool. Ow. Kill it! Kill it! Oh god! Help me!
If you open the door,
Help me! Oh man.
I was
That's
trapped
funny.
out.
There's an issue perhaps in limitations. Yeah, you're probably right. But see, the reason why I say tanks, healers, and utility is because those are the 3 things that need to happen in a group. Everybody does damage, but if you don't have utility, if you don't have tanks, then people get overwhelmed by the mob's damage. If you don't have healers, then people get overwhelmed by. If you don't have healers, then the tanks will eventually die to the mobs. The things that I mentioned aren't common enough. They're not. No, I agree. They're not common enough. I think that classic EverQuest P99. Okay. Maybe I should make something a little clearer. I don't think that the changes I suggested should be made to P99 or to an alternate version of classic EverQuest or anything like that. Damn it. Okay, there it is. Couldn't find my lock pad. Me. I don't think that. I think that if you were to make those changes, you would massively imbalance the game, and you'd have to change a lot of other things to rebalance it, and that would be a big hassle. What I'm saying is that I think that if you were to copy the EverQuest model into a new game, that you should take into consideration what all rogues can do, and then make sure that they and then make sure that those things can be useful. And if you do that, I think that you'll find that them being able to do all of those things means that they shouldn't have the most damage. They shouldn't be the highest DPS. That's really more what I'm saying. If everything that a rogue can do is useful, then they shouldn't have the amount of damage that they have. I think that them having the amount of damage that they have is fine. Why am I not? Oopsies. I think that them having the amount of damage that they have is fine, because the things that they can do aren't useful. Boom! Oh my god, that was a huge backstab I just pulled on that guy. Okay. Alright, I also believe enchanters shouldn't be doing so much damage. No, you're 100% right. Enchanters do way too much damage for how much utility they have. That's not balanced. Just straight up not balanced.
Oh yeah, we're not in a group. That's a good point.
Wow, we're not in a group. Let me do... I'm so used to being in a group with you. Yeah.
I was wondering why they didn't get experience for something. I was like, huh.
Oh my god. I slammed that guy. Okay. Come on. I'm clicking on it! Oh my god, I didn't... I was trying to click on that neophyte, I couldn't. Oh man. Alright. Okay, Enchanters shouldn't be doing so much damage. My concern is the desire to bring them to raid and the desire to bring them to group. I have to wait 6+ hours for a group because being underwhelming compared to other classes is not okay. No, that's true. I agree. Which is why I think that there should be... it's why I think that the other things that a rogue does should be made more useful and better, rather than just slapping more damage on it. I think that damage should be used as the balancing factor between the different classes to make them closer to equal in what they bring to a group. Because a class that has very little utility, like a wizard, should be doing a crap load of damage. And wizards don't have a lot of utility. They've got a couple of things that they can do. They've got some damage shields, but even that is... even that is, damage.
Pizza field guy.
I don't know why I was having such a hard time remembering that word. How am I able to slam? Isn't that ogre and troll only? What about magicians? Magicians have summoned gear and summoned weapons, summoned armor, summoned food, and then they've got pets also, which I think the
Is that a
summoning
Dorito?
stuff gives them utility. I think that pets can be reworked in a way
I feel like we had this
that
conversation
makes the
before.
pets have more utility. Ah, damn it. Which is a good thing. They almost do as much damage as a wizard, and they do a shit ton of damage. Yeah, no, they do, and I think that magicians might do too much. Yeah, COTH, Call of the... Oh yeah, they also have Call of the Hero, which is a big utility. That's huge, because they can summon people to them. So they can gather people together really well.
I have Doritos.
And I guess, by the same token, wizards do have ports. Wizards ends up being essential for plane raiding. Yeah, because of porting. Also, to answer your earlier question, I don't have slam. I'm using backstab right now. That's what I'm doing right here. That's backstab.
I mean, when we play P99, we're playing a snapshot of what the game was when they were still trying to figure shit out.
Yeah, that's true. My screen's gonna blank again because I just clicked off, and it takes a second to reload the full screen. There you go. Sorry about that. I hate it whenever
I don't know, but
accidentally
they have
click
Dorito tacos
off
at
the screen.
Taco
I don't
Bell.
like doing that. Okay, I missed a message from Kindle. P99 already picks and chooses what is their version of classic and what isn't. By just leaving rogues as it is, they are choosing to keep them at the bottom for no real reason. Not that the TLPs are any different. Okay. I know that people make the argument that P99 picks and chooses what's their version of classic. And I know that there are some things that they do that aren't classic on blue. To my knowledge, there's not been a ton of that that's happened on green. The big one is the UI,
We're going down.
which you're going down. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm right behind you. The big one's the UI, but they can't use the old UI because of the way the client's built. Now, some people say, well, if you did it with this, it'd be more classic than doing it the way they did it. And I don't want to get too much into that because I never played with the old UI. I don't know what would be better or more than the other. Let me try to backstab this guy off of you. So I'm not. I would say keep it as classic as possible. In all cases, I know that they made some changes on blue that are certainly not classic. I disagree with those changes. Almost as much as Wizzy, shit 10 damage, Wizards advanced plane rating. A lot of times I would end up waiting 5 to 8 hours for a group, I'm assuming, on Porna. And I would give up and not log on for a day and get angry. Yeah, no, and that can happen to anybody. If you think rogues have a hard time getting a group, man, try playing a wizard. Now I know that wizards can solo better than rogues can, but shit, dude, I think I went a week without getting a group on my wizard. I wanted to group. I don't like soloing on my wizard. I don't like playing that way. It's a lot of work.
Well, see,
I don't have the
that's
gear for
another
it. I'm
problem.
not... What's that?
That's another problem, is back in Classic EQ, and I know this because I played it, we didn't know as much about the classes, their potential. We were learning as we went, whereas now we're playing Classic EQ in a setting where we're min-maxing it.
Yeah.
So people will pass on a rogue maybe in a group because they will say, "Oh, we could get better." Back then, you saw just a person and you were like, "Oh, cool, join us." Yeah. There wasn't as much of those like preconceived like judgments and stuff.
Yeah. Better form your own groups. Let's see. I heard rogues weren't as good at lives due to nerfs. I can't comment on that because I didn't play. The EQ live that I played was well after the era that P99, the snapshot for P99 was taken, so I can't comment on that. In general, it's better to form your own groups. Just in general, I would agree with that. Make your own groups, find some friends that you like grouping with, and play with those people. Whether those be people you meet in game or people that you already know from other games or from real life. I agree. I think that that's going to be the best play experience, regardless. You know, is to find a close knit group of actual friends and play with your friends. Whether your friends are people you met online in games or are people that you knew in real life. Playing with friends is going to be more fun than playing with randoms. And it's kind of like making friends in MMOs almost seems to be a lost art. Like, I don't know, and I'm guilty of this myself. But think about it. Like I've played a lot of MMOs. This guy's kicking my ass. But I've played a lot of MMOs, and I can't think of the last time I added somebody I didn't already know to a friends list. Like, no, I do know. It's in League of Legends. There's a guy that I met through League of Legends goddamn near 10 years ago, who was the last person that I added to a friends list that was not already an established friend of mine. And I mean, that's the thing, is that people just don't really make friends like that in my experience online. I used to play EQ Live and EQOA, and it was, I mean, you'd see people coming around and saying, "Hey man, if it's cool, I'm going to add you to my friends list. I'm going to get on tomorrow." And I'd be like, "Yeah, man, that's awesome. Let's definitely do that, because I need to, go eat dinner, but I'll be back on tomorrow, and we should totally keep playing tomorrow." And then you'd log on, you'd log on middle of the day the next day, and maybe that guy wasn't on, or maybe he was. And if he was on, you'd send him a message. If he wasn't on, you'd be playing, and then he'd log on and send you a message and be like, "Hey, man, remember me from last night? Let's keep killing some stuff in Blackborough." And you'd be like, "Yeah, shit, that sounds awesome." And that just doesn't happen anymore. And I don't know why, but it makes me sad. Anyway, I missed a lot of chat. Okay, let's see. On that tangent. Okay, when I make groups, I don't really care what the requirement is, having an enchanter plus a cleric, but outside of that, damage is damage. Player ability matters way more than class. I agree with that. Damage is damage. Player ability does matter more than. I remember getting my epic backstabs, lost like 100 damage. Oh, that sucks. My experience playing P99 is that experienced groups don't pass on rogues. Okay. Unless, of course, you need the spot for heals or tank or CC. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Is that I've not had a ton of trouble. Now, I haven't really played this rogue with anybody other than Kazris here, but I do have other rogues, and I never had any problems getting groups P99. Can't speak towards live because didn't play live. Okay. Or I did play live, but not at the time that this snapshot was out. And I didn't play a rogue on live, so I can't speak towards rogues on live. Played a bard on live. Let's see. Most modern MMOs are theme parks. Yep, that's true. I hate that. You pay for the ticket, you go on your ride, it doesn't matter who else is there. They could also be bots. EverQuest is different in that you are almost required to socialize in order to succeed, unless you're a necro. Yeah, that's mostly true. And that might be a big part of why you don't see people make those kinds of online friendships again. You could make the argument that if you don't communicate with your team in League of Legends, that you're probably not going to win. And that could be a part of why I made friends with that other guy. Except the guy that I added was not on my team, he was on the other team. me and a couple of friends that I had were playing, we're like, wow, that guy's kicking our ass. Let's see if he wants to join up with us, because we had an open slot. And he was like, yeah, okay. Oh, man. And he ended up being a cool dude. All right, let's see. You can succeed as well if you're a druid. Or you can solo as well as if you're a druid. Yeah. Yes, you can. I can't speak on that, but Kazris can. Oh my god. What's this guy doing?
Solo what on Druid?
What's that?
What'd you say about soloing Druid?
Yeah, it said that you can succeed as well solo if you're a druid.
Oh yeah. Well, it becomes a lot easier when you can quad around like 40 or so.
Yeah.
Or 34 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, it's still fairly easy to solo. You just gotta you run through every single technique possible. You know, you start out with kiting, and then or root rotting, and then kiting, and then later quadding, and. But yeah, Druids are great at solo. Necros are great at solo. Enchanters can do it well enough late on, I think, with Charming and stuff. It's just risky.
Yeah. No, don't. Stop it. Damn it. I'm trying to get behind him so I can backstab him. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Okay, I soloed from. Okay, I mostly spent my whole life, my whole druid life on blue soloing. I soloed from 32 to 37 on blue and Veilus outside the Tower of Shadows. I soloed a bit in TOFs as I soloed as well, from 40 to 43 or so in DL, 45 to 47 or so in Tumultuous Deep. God fucking damn it, motherfucker piece of shit. Okay, if people don't have a problem with the windowed mode, I might just leave this in windowed mode. Oh my god. Well, I have a problem with it looking like that. So now I can't see anything top of my screen. Okay, full screen. Fuck it. Sorry about the black blip there, guys. I really wish this game locked the mouse to the window. I really do. It does not. Okay. Let's see. 47 to 51 in Cobalt Scar. You just need gear to quad. Soloing sucks if you have shit gear. Druids are heavily limited by gear for soloing. Yeah, they are. For soloing.
Mostly for the mana pool, yeah. It can be rough. I mean, I was quadding forever in Wraith Mountains, right outside the Giant Fort, and I would have to, of course, snare each individual giant. So that takes up a big chunk of mana. So you get to the point where you run as far as you can from them, sit, and just try to get a few ticks of medding in while they walk towards you. And then you can stand up and do more of the lightning spell.
Backstab. Damn it. Can I keep... Okay, it looks like I can melee him again without him turning to face me. Can't get that backstab off. Kindly says, yeah, it's a bit harder in Classic. Realistically, you can solo in basically any class, but I feel like you are doing yourself a disservice. Unless you enjoy soloing, then have at it, I guess. But per hours in, grouping is always going to be more efficient in the long run. I don't know about that. Don't know about that. Now, for certain classes, I would agree. It's more mana. It's more efficient to be a group, say, as a cleric than it is to solo. Clerics are very, very competent at soloing undead locations like Befallen, A State of Unrest, Mayog Mistmore. So places where there's a lot of undead, clerics can really succeed there. But by the same token, it's more efficient to group. However, it is much more efficient for bards to swarm kite than it is for them to play in a group. So I think it really depends on the class and the methods of soloing that are available. I realize those are two extremes, but extremes do make they show all of the places in between, you know. That's not mana. Okay, that's not mana efficient really bad. You're better off with low health enemies. Giants have far too much health to be soloable. Giants like over 3,000, 2.5k plus health. It's not efficient or actually quaddable. I'm pretty sure Whittleby was quadding the Giants, weren't you, Whittleby?
Oh yeah, I was having no problem with them. I was killing 4 of them every few minutes. I mean, they may have a ton of health, but they also drop a lot of good loot that you can sell for money, and they give a lot more experience. Like, I bounced everywhere, but not even because I was worried about which place was best, but that, it grows monotonous after a while. And I was at Wraith Mountains for so long that I tried Lake Omen, I tried hopping everywhere I could in that range. And even when I went with smaller enemies quadding and stuff, I still seemed to always get the most experience per hour outside the Giant Fort. And maybe that's just me. I had no problems. Every now and then, you know, I would get too close to like one of the gorillas or something, and I would have to like run in zone, or I'd have to port out or something, or they would resist a little too much, because they did have a high resist, the giants. But I felt that it may never been as mana efficient, but I felt like quadding them is very doable, and I was getting a ton of experience. I just got tired of seeing the exact same stretch running down it over and over, you know?
Let's see. Cherry Cub says Channer Charm Soul is really fast. Wouldn't know, but I'll take your word for it. Because if you've got two mobs that are basically able to kill each other, and then you just do the last little bit of health, it does sound pretty fast. Okay, Retro says maybe if you're level 45 when you have Lightning Blast, but by then the giants are green. Dreadland's enemies have less health and are the same level. Yetis have way less health. Yetis are around 800 health. And I can't speak towards any of this because I've never played a high level druid. And like I was saying earlier, my wizard, I didn't like soloing. I didn't have the equipment to solo. I didn't want to solo. I built the wizard to play in groups. I wanted to group. Why is this elf skeleton running around here and aggroing on us and being dark red and scowling?
I did the Yetis for quite a while. They were fine too. I think the thing I didn't like about the Yeti area, or at least the spot I picked, is the elevation. Like, there was a lot of hills, and sometimes you'd go to cast and it looked like they're real close, but it would say too far because of the elevation or something. I don't remember specifically why I went back to the giants, and I think I did do fine with the Yetis, but I still ended up preferring the giants. I can't remember the exact reasoning for it because it was a while back. But I did give the Yetis a shot.
He says 1,600 health versus 4,000 health. I think he's saying that Yetis have 1,600 instead of 800, and giants have 4,000 instead of 2.5 thousand.
But do they give the same experience and money making capacity?
Yeah, I mean, that is true. Level is not the end all be all of experience whenever you kill something. Different types of mobs at the same level give different amounts of experience based on what type of mob they are. So a green giant might give more experience than a dark blue Yeti. It just depends. And now I'm not saying that that's definitively the case, but I do know that the game does not just say this enemy is level 12. They give this much experience. There's more to it than that. Mountain Giant, Crag Race, Forest Giants, Warriors level 33 to 37, Spawn Zone, Dreadlands, Frontier Mountain Zone, Dreadlands 8% and then locations. Stats, AC 250. Okay. 246 AC. 2,472 to 2,552 HP. I mean, that doesn't sound terrible. That's the Forest Giants. In the mountains. What's this? Oh, Hassan's Grimoire. That's an enchanter thing, I think.
Oh, that's right. I said Wraith Mountains, but I meant Frontier Mountains. Every time I said that.
Oh, that probably makes a huge difference.
Maybe. That's my mistake. Wraith Mountains is in on Antanica.
Yeah, and you were doing.
Yeah, I did the Wraith Mountains ones also, but it's the Frontier Mountains giant fort. Because Wraith Mountains doesn't even have a giant fort, a big that I know of. It's the Frontier Mountains one that I spent so much time outside of.
Oh, that was where you and me were, and Ryan power leveled me up a little bit, wasn't it? With his thing.
You might be thinking of the giant fort in Warslicks.
Oh wow, I've almost leveled up. I didn't even realize. I'm getting really close to level. I was not even paying attention to that at all. Rainforest Giants, 36 to 40. The Giants have way more HP. I mean, I'm not arguing about how much HP the Giants have, and I'm sure that Kazris is not arguing that either. 100%, 100% sure. I just know that. I mean, I remember Whittleby, his Druid on blue. I remember Whittleby fighting quadding giants. I remember him. I remember getting really frustrated after not being able to find a group with my wizard. And he said, well, you know, you've gotten high enough level to where you could solo as your wizard, haven't you? And I looked up some stuff and I said, yeah, I'm at the very base levels where that starts to become a little bit feasible. But I don't know how to do it. And he said, well, why don't you come with me and I'll show you how I do it, and we can see if there's any parallel. You remember that?
I think so.
And so I remember him doing that. And then I was like, wow, that looks like a whole lot of work for a little bit of reward, and went right back to looking for groups.
Yeah, HP is a consideration, but it's not the top consideration. Like, what's the difference? I don't know if they have the stats on the wiki or whatever. What's the difference in experience per giant kill versus Yeti kill? And then you gotta weigh whether or not that difference in experience is worth the extra HP. And then if you're like me, a poor druid at the time, you have to weigh in whether or not the monetary reward in the giants was worse or greater than the Yetis.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, with how long it took to med back full and stuff, unless I got, clarity or something, that was the main thing that slowed me down, regardless of what I was quadding.
It says the XP isn't listed, but mostly. No, I weigh the value of HP because they're the easiest to solo. Now, I will give you that lower HP does typically, not always, does mean easier to solo because you have less time to kill. And less time to kill means you're getting your experience in quicker chunks, which means that if you make a mistake and die, you are more likely to come out of that situation with more of the HP that you were trying to do.
Yeah, I never really felt like it was a hardship for me, or that I was ever at risk. Even if they resisted, even if the snare ran out before, I was never really in danger with the giants ever. So I didn't take any of that into consideration. My biggest problem was just how monotonous it was, how boring, repetitive it was, you know?
So in the case of a few examples, you don't want to fuck with the raptors. Raptors are too tough. Or too rough. Almost died on that one. The hell? Holy shit, he did almost die. You almost died too. Well, Jesus Christ. I think they resisted root and snare. Okay. Better not to fuck with them. That's the raptors again, right, Retro? Okay, let's see.
I remember
I
remember helping people out constantly by porting them around and stuff. And I remember one particular guy that I went in, there's an etiquette involved with porting. and I never cared if anyone gave me anything for it. But I had a guy message me, and he was like, "I need a port," and I was like, "No problem. I'm not busy. Where are you at, and where do you need to go?" And he was like, "Come find me," and he was like in the middle of the woods in raptor territory. Just come find me here. And I'm like, that's pretty presumptuous to be like, you come find me. But I'm like, I'll do it. I got nothing to do tonight. That dude died so many times to the raptors. But eventually that night, I got him ported where he wanted to go. I think it took like 2 hours to port one person from one location to another because he would die, do a corpse run, all that stuff. And I was like, I have no idea why I spent my night doing that, but it was interesting.
I got better at bind wound. 2. 3. I'm helping.
That's true.
Another really nasty place. The goblins in Oasis of Mar. The underwater goblins are clerics and root. Oh my god. That's evil. Combat bind wounds is a lifesaver. Yes, bind wounds is a lifesaver. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is one of the reasons why I'm trying to get it up right now. Because I need to get this up so I can use it. Oh, okay. You're already over 50%. All right. Only thing I hate more and don't want to fuck with are drachnids. Oh, I love the drachnids. They're so cool. They're like dark elf spiders.
They were a pain in the ass because some of them could see through invis and some couldn't.
Yeah, I died quite a few to them. I've never fought them. I've been absolutely wrecked by them before. Okay, make a macro that is /attack /target target Ainsley /do ability number /attack or /target a /attack. Huh. Well, that won't work if I'm fighting a named though, would it? Like if I was to say fight target like I don't know, um hell, Lord Crushbone. Like if I was fighting Lord Crushbone, that macro wouldn't work, right? Would it? After do ability add in /stand, I think. Um, I think you stand up automatically after bandaging. Okay, Dragons are horrifying. Okay, oh, I got a story. I once died on my bad. I once died on my bad Inferion of I due to spiders. I had to do a corpse run. Lost an entire level due to them. Oh, geez, that sucks. Um, you'll have to change it for the zone and the mobs you're fighting. A is most mobs. Okay. Oh yeah. No, I get that the A would target like a Necro Acolyte's corpse or a Necro Acolyte pet or whatever. Oh, on my Bard. I once died on my Bard in Furion of I. Sorry about that. Retro. Uh, misreading your message. Um, let's see. Ooh. Mungo looks so big, so strong.
So mighty.
Which one are you fighting now? Bugrat? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Don't
ate
pull
my
the goblins
Wheaties.
in. Don't pull the goblins in Loilo while underwater. They run faster than you, cast levitate, and pull. They are amazing experience.
Lake of Velomen, yeah.
Lake of the Loman.
I try to fight nothing underwater if I can help it. Fuck water.
Seriously, they're amazing experience. And they are usually permacamped. Unfortunately, the plat is terrible. I'll keep that in mind. It sounds horrible. I like the shark tooth that I've got here. It's very fast. I like it. Oh god, a mummy.
How you doing, mummy? I can hit you for damage now.
Oh.
I see you can hit me for damage as well.
Oh shit, your health. Haha!
Just a flesh wound.
For 22 points of damage. Haha! Oh. Pulled aggro off of him. For you.
Sharing is caring.
Yep. I'll hold it for a second. But not terribly long. I think we got it. If one of us can hit him big. Okay, goblins swim faster than even a max swim player. But if you're levitating, it's almost as if floating, but you can see underwater. And pull from the pillar and go on land and take them all. I saw someone do this. Sounds like a pretty good strategy.
Can you imagine if they had sound effects every time a monk used a move? Like Tiger Claw. Tiger Claw. Like Street Fighter.
Tiger Claw!
Round kick.
Best part is no casting. Oh, because you're levitating. I hated that on my wizard. I'd be like, yeah, I can levitate now! Why can't I cast anything? Gotta get that backstab up. Poof. Oh, there's no caster enemies. Okay. Ooh, turquoise. Another mummy.
Yeah, but this one's lesser. That's other. Oh yeah, that's right, Gina. I can make it make the sound effects. I used to use Gina. I probably still haven't installed. I just aren't running it right now.
Yeah.
I used it a lot to get reminders on when to rebuff people and stuff.
Casters and EverQuest are nasty, really bad news. Shamans are horrible to fight with heal spam and slowing you en route. And let's not forget Flash of motherfucking Light! Oh my god. Christ, I hate Flash of Light so much.
I think that's a small mercy. They're blinding you so you can't see how badly you die.
God, that was like my. I remember my first like real like classic EQ experience. It was on P99. It was on the very first character I had made, which was um, it was a Wood Elf Ranger. Can't anymore. I'm just gonna leave all this shit.
Ooh.
And it was with you were there, Kazris. That was the very first character I made on P99 was a Wood Elf Ranger. You remember that?
Yeah, and you're like, maybe they made Rangers better or something. I was like, I don't think so. You wanted to believe, though.
I wanted to believe that Rangers were good. But my first classic experience was at the Orc Hill fighting orcs in a group with both Kazris and our third friend, and we were doing pretty decent. And I was tanking because I was the tankiest of us, because I believe that. See, we were all on Orc Hill. And I know that I
If
was
it was
either
the
tanking
beginning,
or
I
off.
was probably on my druid.
You think you got Whittleby up to Faye that quickly?
I ran all over the place before
I
I
mean, you
got
might have.
ports.
But yeah, so you would have been healing us. I think I was tanking, and I think our other friend was on a rogue, maybe?
He was probably standing on the hill being given items by someone the whole time.
It was probably what was happening. um, but I got blinded, and I was like, I think my game just messed up. My screen went completely black, and you were like, no, that's supposed to happen. I remember that so much. Like, no, that's supposed to happen. I was like, what?
See, if there's an enemy that blinds you and fears you, that seems a little redundant, because if you blind me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, seriously. Blinds and fears. Jesus Christ. I almost lost in lower guck from shrooms. I was in group on my current warrior.
Oh, great.
Um,
That's gonna be fun.
that's gonna all be coming back towards us too, isn't it?
Sure will.
Hmm.
You're gonna go hide. I know what you're doing.
What?
You're gonna hide. I'm gonna die. Oh,
I
great,
would
a
never.
pop. There's
I
nowhere
would.
I can go either that they won't see me, I don't think.
I mean, I would absolutely never.
I can see a few of them up there. Yeah, I'm gonna hide in the corner, but they're gonna see me, most likely.
See, I would never do that. I'd absolutely never leave you to fend for yourself. As a trained
The way you're
officer.
saying that makes me suspect... Oh, great. I'm hiding. It makes me suspect that that's not true. This is gonna be
Crap.
fun.
Why? Leave me alone, Dreadbone.
Oh, you can't hide. Oh, what a shame. Sounds like karma.
Okay. Okay, I think it's all no-ish level stuff.
Did you root him? You want us to start fighting again?
Yeah, I think he does. It's a lot of stuff. Something saw me. I'm rooted. I can't. I'm stunned. I can't move. Okay. That's better. Okay. Let's kill this fucker. And then try to kill that train. Come on. Come on. Backstab. Come off cooldown. Damn it. I need my backstab skill to be much higher than it is. Come on, stupid. Woo! Okay, which one are you hitting right now?
Zombie.
Zombie. Okay.
So I do still have Gina installed. I pulled it up and now I'll know if I drown or anything else, any other warning things. Did he just?
Right. Okay.
He didn't fear me.
Almost... which one? The pet or the? No, you get the. Yeah, one of the.
I got
pets.
this one.
Alright. Almost died. Fucking true man. You're a jerk, leaving your poor ranger friend or druid friend or whatever he is. Poor druid. Why are you screwing him over? I would never!
Gert likes to play as a rogue because then he can do things like that and just say he's role playing.
Yeah, it's what my character would do. God, I hate that. And I know
Whereas I guess my character would come to peace with the fact that he's going to die. My remains will become one with the earth.
So, I don't know. I know that this is an MMO, and I know that this line of reasoning is not very often used in MMOs, but it's pretty common in games like Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop roleplay. But you'll find people who will just do the most asinine things, being massive jerks to other people who are supposed to be their friends. And if you confront them on it, they say, I'm just doing what my character would do. And, like, that argument makes sense for, like, minor inter-party conflict, you know? Like, it's like, why isn't your character just, you know, forgiving this person? It's like, no, my character wouldn't forgive them. That's why they're kind of being cold. It's like, that's cool. That's fine. That's a character motivation. You know what? This is a big fight where everybody's lives are on the line and I'm playing the healer. I think I'm going to sneak off to the side and not help. That's what my character would do. That's just called a dick move. If this was a D&D game, I'd let you die. Hey, I've and roleplay as a radical extremist Greenpeace druid. It's what my character would do. I'm in Greenpeace. He's right. Come on, need that backstab. Get that big chunky backstab. Hey.
It wasn't so bad.
It wasn't so bad. I can only heal when you are not in combat. Oof. I don't like the idea of Druid being shackled to good only. What if the Druid wasn't sane? What if he thinks all humans should be purged? for the green. Good job. You y'all stayed full HP. The Greenpeace druid. What if the druid wasn't sane? Are druids shackled to good only? I don't think they are. I know that at the very least they weren't in 4th edition. Because I played a neutral druid in 4th. I have not played as a player in 5th edition. I've only DM'd it. I don't think that druids are shackled to good only in 5th. I don't think they were in 3.5, but they may have been. I know that in 3.5 they could lose their druid powers if they used metal armor or metal weapons. But I don't think they were shackled to good only like
How dare you
I know that
kill
paladins
a
were
bear,
shackled
John?
to lawful good. What?
John, he said he had a druid let him die because he was killing a bear one time. That poor bear.
Unless you're referring to EverQuest, in which case in EverQuest, druids are only available for good races because druidism is the worship of nature in EverQuest, and all of the nature gods and goddesses are good aligned. Ainsley's giving rabies to wolves and bear. Kill the halfling. I'm not a rabid halfling. I'm just differently visible.
Yeah, there's only half of you. It's a failed rogue. The rogue only manages to make himself disappear half at a time.
All right, then. Where am I right now?
In this room. You know, if druids could become evil, they would just call them a different name. It's not a druid because it's not one with nature. Instead, it's doing this vile magic instead, twisting nature. So we call them blah blah blah, you know.
They could call him something like a dirge.
Like, this isn't a wizard, it's a warlock. Uh-huh.
Or,
it's a wizard with bad intentions.
Oh no, they could call it a defiler. Yeah. I think that works.
They had defilers in EQ2.
They were evil druids. That was the joke.
I was a defiler.
That's the joke.
Your face is the joke.
Was the evil bard. I got that mixed up for a second there. I cannot stand the way that game looks. It looks like all the hair is made out of Play-Doh. Like, the hair on all of the character models looks like dried Play-Doh in EverQuest 2. I hate it so much. It looks so bad to me. Like, I look at the visuals in that game, and I know that you say that I'm wrong when I say this. It feels like the graphics in EverQuest 2 are worse than the graphics in EverQuest 1. And I know you've told me I'm wrong when I say that like 5 times.
Me?
But, yes, you.
I mean, the graphics are certainly more advanced. It's their style. Their style looks like Barbie dolls. I don't like the style of EverQuest 2 graphics. But without a doubt, the graphics are certainly more advanced than EQ1.
I mean, I guess that has to be true because polygon counts. I just wish it wasn't.
Yeah, they look like Barbie dolls. They've actually changed the graphics a few times in EQ2. But it didn't look... Yeah, I didn't like any of them. I didn't play for super long because I didn't care for the game that much, but...
The UI interface is probably better in EQ2. Maybe? I don't know. I only played EverQuest 2 for like 2 weeks, so I don't know.
The UI interface is better in every game over EQ1. Just about.
But I remember looking at EverQuest 2 and looking at World of Warcraft. I remember back in the day, like when the games were brand new, and looking at both of those games and thinking, wow, EverQuest 2 looks amazing. And now I go back and I look at old 2005, like pictures from World of Warcraft that are from 2005, and looking at that, and looking at much more current EverQuest 2 pictures and thinking, how did I ever think that this looked better than World of Warcraft? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a big World of Warcraft fan. I liked the original game. I thought it was pretty good. I liked the first expansion. I thought it was pretty good. And then the second expansion, I was like, okay, this is getting to be a little bit too much. And then Cataclysm came out eventually, and I was like, I'm fucking done with this. And I was fucking done with it. And I've not really ever looked back too much. I went and played. I had a free trial or a free time or something like that for World of Warcraft for a little bit, and I played it, and it was only a couple of years ago, and I played it again, and I was like, this is fun. Why did I stop liking this? And then I realized that I was doing everything by myself, and I never interacted with any players. And after playing for about 3 or 4 days, I was like, I'm bored, and I went to something else, and just never really looked back. And yeah, so. But yeah, no, I remember. So I'm not a huge World of Warcraft fan. That's the point I'm trying to make. I've played it. I played it a good little bit. I had a character in Wrath of the Lich King that did raids. I was an off tank for a guild. Like I was the secondary tank. Played a warrior. Little gnome warrior with big pink pigtails on a PvP server. Because whenever you get killed by a big bad Tauren, it's not a big deal. That happens. Whenever a noble paladin crushes your skull, hey man, it happens. Whenever the little gnome with pink pigtails eviscerates you, part of your soul dies. And I liked doing that to people. Anyway, yeah. So I was an off tank in um,
Is there another
in Wrath of the
train?
Lich King. What's that?
I just saw John's what he said in chat. I'm like, is there another train? Did I miss one?
GG killing the train. Was that a train? Did we just intercept a train? John says,
Oh,
I
okay.
just trained.
What you brought
Oh,
in, yeah.
got turned around.
It took a while to kill him, but we're mighty.
We are mighty. I mean, look at all of this awesome gear that I've got, that I got all by myself with no help from anybody else, because it's all me. Don't look at me. Almost half to level 12. I didn't look at that. Holy crap, I am almost halfway to level 12. Are you level 10 yet? Or 11 yet?
No, I'm not.
You're not.
I think you must have played a little bit off stream or something.
I only killed like 2 things. And that
Well,
wasn't off stream. That was with
there was about
John.
a 25% difference when I logged yesterday, and when you got on today, there was a 50% difference.
I did not kill a single thing between starting the game and starting the stream. As a matter of fact,
I mean, that
stood
bonus
still.
adds up, sure, but
You know what? That might have been what it was, because remember we weren't in a group for a little while at the beginning of this, so that might have been my experience bonus with the few things that I killed. You know.
I'm almost 11 though.
Okay. I said that. Yeah, I remember the two skellies at the entrance. That was on stream. If he was watching, he saw it. And at the start, we weren't grouped. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think I got most of the experience when we weren't grouped. I think I killed everything but one or two things. Yeah, KS. I'm using backstab. I'm trying to get my backstab skill up. It's only at level 28 right now. Got to get it up to 50. 5. It'll probably need to get up to 60 before it hits 55, to be honest. Um, Okay. I'm as quiet as a herd of running elephants. When you get when you get dual wield, make sure you pot the highest damage weapon in your main hand for the best backstab. Yep. Highest damage goes in main hand, highest DPS goes in offhand. I do like the shark tooth. It's got a really quick thing, so it helps me get my piercing skill up fast. So what I probably need to do...
You know what's gonna be real nice?
What's that?
When EQ Next comes out.
God. Oh, man. Why did you... Holy shit. I just murdered that guy. Did you see that?
Nope.
Still waiting. Oh, jeez. I don't even know if I want to... I don't even want to think about EverQuest Next, man. That was such a... Oh, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Every single thing.
They blame it on Ponytail.
Smedley?
Yeah, they said he was taking focus off the game and putting everything in the landmark. And he was such a believer that landmark would change everything and all sorts of stuff. When you read the article, it sounds like everybody disliked the leadership involved.
I had heard that was less Smedley and more, was it Jacobson?
I'm talking about the dude with the ponytail. I forget his name.
Or maybe I've got it backwards. I can't remember which one is which now.
I think.
But
I could be wrong, but I think Jacobson is the ponytail dude.
See, because I don't remember. I feel like the guy who got up and talked about it was not, like, which I think is Ponytail. I think he was not the one who was ultimately behind that decision, but he didn't fight it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what I read said he was. And that he got cast out or something for making bad choices, and now he runs like a... I forget if it's like anti-malware thing or something. He's not in gaming anymore, I think.
No, he's not in gaming anymore. He's
yeah, he's in. He started his own company, some sort of security or something. I mean, everything you read anyway, you don't know. It's all hearsay. I don't know what's the real truth, of course.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's so hard to especially in gaming. You wouldn't necessarily think it would be like that, but it feels like that a lot of the time.
It's a crazy industry.
It really is. No, yeah, EQ Next. I mean, that whole thing. Just... I was so excited. Oh, man. I was so excited. I was active on their forums. I couldn't wait. for EQ Next. And then they stopped talking about EQ Next and started talking about Landmark. And I was like, I don't want Landmark. I want EverQuest Next. You know, I had played Minecraft. I was done with that. I had closed that chapter of my life. Did not want Minecraft. But that's what they wanted to give me was Minecraft. And then Landmark went free, so you didn't have to pay to have it. And I downloaded it, and I discovered that it didn't work on my computer at the time, like at all. And then they stopped talking about EverQuest Next altogether and only talked about Landmark.
They renamed it to EverQuest Never.
And then they decided that, and then they started going back and deleting articles about EverQuest Next. Like, I'm serious. Oh shit! Damn it! They went back and they actually removed news articles about EverQuest Next. I remember that very well. I was trying to find articles about it to reread things because people were talking about stuff and in the forums, and I was like, no wait, that's not true. That's not accurate. They already talked about this, and went to find the news articles to prove it, and I couldn't find them. They weren't there. They had been removed from the archives.
Maybe like the
And
Wayback Machine or something.
yeah, I mean, I probably should have used Wayback Machine to find them. I didn't. I bet you could use Wayback Machine to find them. But they removed a lot of their old news articles, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And then
It was embarrassing, yeah.
About 3 or so weeks later, they announced that they announced that that they were being they were being turned into Daybreak Studios or something like that. You know, they like that was around the time whenever SOE dissolved, and they were becoming Daybreak. And then once that happened, a lot of people were starting to say, it's like, oh, this is the end of EverQuest Next. It's gonna die. And they said, no, it's not gonna die. It's not gonna die. And then about a month or so later, they were like, yeah, we're killing that project. And it's just ridiculous.
Well, now we just gotta hope for Pantheon.
Yeah.
Hopefully it keeps its footing without Brad McQuaid.
Oh, hey, Zazania. Oh man, yeah, God, that was sad when Brad McQuaid died.
Yep.
When did he die? October?
Yeah, it was October.
That is whenever Green launched. I remember because I logged on when I heard that news, and I made a shout on my character about it, or did something in out of character chat in Butcher Block, and I had a couple people who were like, "Wait, what?" and directed them to a news article.
Yep, we went to McQuaid's bar in Hallis. In like memory. I was streaming when I saw the announcement that he died. Yeah, I was streaming Green.
Man. Did they ever release what the cause of death was?
Not officially, but everyone close to him said it was either drug overdose or complications due to drug use.
That's a shame. Why is it that all the best people get on the stuff that kills them? Brad McQuaid, Chris Farley, help me out here.
uh, what the fuck's his name? John Belushi.
Yeah, John Belushi.
Then there's lots of musicians.
Oh yeah.
You look at them like Jimi Hendrix and all these people. They were in their 20s, 27 when he died.
Hendrix was 27 when he died?
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 musicians that all died at 27. Makes me
Jesus
feel old
Christ.
now.
Yeah, really. It's like these are people who are like musical legends, and I'm a good bit older than they were when they died.
Yeah, too much
Holy
overtime, too
shit.
much work. Life is hectic. They need some escape, something to help them cope with it. You see it with celebrities, musicians, like CEOs, Wall Street people.
Yep.
I mean, hell, even your common person working at a cubicle or, at a office job still's using coffee and other things, milder, of course, but it's like, gotta have my coffee. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I gotta have my coffee. That's what I use.
yeah, a lot of
Gotta have my
people,
coffee.
a lot of big people died in their 20s and stuff. And at the time, I didn't, as a kid and stuff, I was thinking, they were older. And then once I hit that age, I was like, man, they were young. It's like
Yeah.
when I look at the Declaration of Independence signing, a lot of those dudes were in their 20s.
Are you serious? Shut
Not all
up.
of them. You had a couple of them who were teens, like 16 and 18. You had a few that were in 20s, a few that were in their 30s. Then you had Benjamin Franklin, who was like 60. He was hanging out with the college kids. Yeah, they
From
were
what I
young, a
know,
lot of them.
from what I know about history, that does not surprise me about Benjamin Franklin at all.
They were like, history's like he was a big influence on a lot of a lot of what founded the country. And I'm like, of course, he was like their father in a way, like the cool uncle or whatever.
He was party grandpa. He went
Yeah,
to France
basically.
and had parties with like young women and had a illegitimate child and all kinds of shit.
Yep.
Ben
Ding.
Franklin was a dog.
Yep. Level 11.
Woo.
Wait, am I fighting somebody? Oh shit. I was fighting that dude's stuff.
Yeah, me too. Just so in the go 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 kill 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 mode that I didn't even notice.
Ooh.
I should ask him if he wants to join us. He's lower level than we are.
What level is he?
I don't know. He's dark blue to me though. What level is he to you?
Let's see. To me, he's a level 10 warrior.
I didn't who him. I just.
Yeah, so he's not much lower than us.
Yeah.
I myself was 10 a moment ago.
Exactly.
But now I'm older and wiser.
Fuck you, ghoul!
If I'm staring at the enemy's ass the whole battle, it's refreshing when they turn and face me. Maybe he can't hear you because you're so low to the ground. You gotta shout. Maybe tap him on a kneecap. Get his attention.
Okay. Taps on his kneecap. I need to make that an actual macro. Knees. Slash E taps on %T apostrophe S E. Yes. Now I can run around and tap people on the kneecap. Turn on auto attack. Oh, jeez. And now we have 2.5 people.
Really, 3.5. I was just thinking of in the group.
There we go. Oh, don't count yourself out. It's kind of you to think I'm 1.5 people. Oh, well, damn it. Damn it to hell! Stupid mouse. Stupid mouse, you make me look bad. Oh, there we go. There. Oh no, it's your back.
Yeah, he's in the group with us, John.
Yeah. I invited him because he was about our level, and he's here trying to level up, and I don't want... I always hate it whenever I would be somewhere trying to do something or find a group, and there would be a small group, like 1 or 2 or 3 people power leveling, and they would take the majority of the mobs in relative safety, and would deny anyone else from joining, and made it hard to find groups. I hate it when people do stuff like that. So whenever I see other people around, if I notice that they're close to our level, I don't know. I feel that it's the right thing to do to extend the friendship rather than to be selfish. I guess that's part of the paying it forward stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, plus Gert likes to surround himself by people that can reach the stuff on the tall shelves.
Well, I mean, it's important to be able to get the stuff up there.
Yeah, I have the classic UI I have going on my stream. I have each element is independent of the others, just about. So I usually hide all the group ones if they're not filled. And so when someone joins, it doesn't show unless I remember to click. And then it'll show party number 2 slot, So on mine, it looked like there was only one person in the group, besides myself.
I remember every time I think about how you've got your stuff set up for streaming, I think I should do something similar, and then I remember how long it took you to set that up.
Yeah, probably 4, 5, 6 hours altogether.
I am
In
not willing to do
a few different, I probably spent a couple hours, and then a couple hours again at a later point, and so on. I mean, I could make it where it's just one party thing that's there, but the UI color of the UI color of this current UI doesn't match the old classic, so it looks like it's all discolored and stuff. I'm trying to, I had to try to match the purple a little bit, but the old classic UI is not one solid color. It's like a bunch of splotches of different purples and stuff. But yeah, 4 or 5 hours on one thing, that's a lot of time, but it's crazy how much time I've put into this stream channel anyway. That's like a drop in a bucket with all the crazy shit I've done for no reason. Other than because I want it that way. Like anytime I go to watch another streamer on Twitch and I think, oh, I wish they had this, I then implement it in my own channel, even though I don't have a huge following, even though, my channel's not always full of people. Like, I made collections and playlists for all my streams and stuff. No one's probably ever going to click that. But if there's even one person out there that wants to see a whole... Like, he wants to see all the EverQuest I'm playing now, plus all the EverQuest I did on Green's launch, he can go to one collection and do it. So even if one person decides to click that one day, it makes it worth it,
Shit.
Whereas I'll go to someone's stream and I'll be like, oh man, I want to see their old playthrough of this. And then I have to try to find it, and Twitch does not make it easy to find. If they've been streaming for numerous years, it is not easy to find their old stuff.
I should probably do stuff like that. It's just so much time involved to set that kind of stuff up. And
yeah, it's a big initial time investment. Once you have it going, it's easy to keep with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably why I should take a day and not stream and just set everything up. Just spend the whole day doing that, just setting up everything. But oh man, the couple of things that I've done that I do like setting up the alerts on my setting up the alerts on like my Discord channel and stuff like that, which are things that's like, yeah, that's nice. Setting that stuff up took so long, and I thought it was going to be easy. That took 3 hours.
Keep this in mind. You figured out how to do that through asking me, and it still took that long. How long do you think it took me to discover its existence and work through it?
It was ridiculous.
Okay, John. He's going AFK for a few minutes.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to run to the restroom and the kitchen because I am thirsty and need to use the restroom. So I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Hopefully this whole room doesn't pop. Your dad sounds awesome. He made the right choice.
All right, I'm back. What did I miss? Who died?
2 enemies died.
Okay.
It looks like it could be for cell phone, doesn't it? It only plays on Nokias. That's it. You have to have a Nokia phone, like the brick phone. It can't be a flip phone or a smartphone. It's not touchscreen.
There we go.
All right, well, I'm gonna use the restroom then, real quick. Since you're here,
Ghost.
we're shifting guard duty.
Yes. I will guard your seated corpse. Invisibly.
No, I'm not joking. I'm deadly serious at all times.
All right. Most level 11. Cool. They went AFK for a moment. No problem. I'm back. Now manga is AFK. Because that's what we do. We just alternate who's here. I think John is still AFK also. All right. Stab this dude. Stab this dude right in his tailbone. Oh. Rogues do it from behind, buddy. Okay. Renthar in EverQuest. He must be a European. Those green.
Yeah, you learned. Someone in my chat said they learned a joke about paper today. It's terrible. Speaking of paper, it comes from trees. You know why the cat was afraid of the tree?
Why?
Because it was afraid of the bark.
I thought that was going to link together a lot better than it did.
Well, that's why I'm here, for disappointment.
Yeah, those two jokes. That first joke did not branch terribly well into the second.
Yeah, I went out on a limb.
Yeah. It was it leafed me disappointed.
Yeah. Have you heard about the new corduroy pillow? It's making headlines. Wait, I got a rim shot sound, don't I?
Our buddy's about to die, and we're gonna die too.
Oh, great, cool. Let's die together.
All right.
Let's die as a team.
Backstab.
Yeah, the skeleton has a great laugh sound effect, and they're gonna laugh over our corpses.
Okay. Zombie? Zombie.
Okay. He said he fucked up. He shouldn't have been pulling, I don't think.
Probably not, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
He should not have pulled that greater skeleton off of you. That is what he should not have done, because now he's dead.
Why
What do
did
you
he
want
do
us
that?
to do about that, you idiot? Okay.
He got experience. He got the knowledge of not to do that again.
Yeah. It says he effed
Let's
up.
see if
Yeah,
mend
he did
works.
F up.
Well, thanks, Modwolf. It took me several hours to put together an overlay that looked like the old one for nostalgia.
Back up.
Every now and then I tweak it a little bit, trying to make it look
Backside hitting? No.
more authentic.
Damn it. Okay.
I
well,
think
we're
I've
gonna
come
win,
to the
though.
point where there's not a whole lot I can do left for it.
Yeah, we're gonna win. It's not a problem.
We're bona fide heroes.
I think Renthar's gonna have a bone to pick with us, though.
The I'm punching the skeleton with my mighty fist. Magical gloves.
Are you gonna be okay sitting right there by yourself for a second?
Of course not.
I'm gonna say we're fine.
There's no way.
We're fine. You're the one who died. I'm just that awesome. I'm just too awesome for these boneheads.
I'm using Woo's fighting gauntlets. So I just hit people with my gauntlets.
Okay, this is bugging me a little bit. Oh, that's how it's done. That bugs me a little bit. Lock. I'm warned you. If you consent, you can drag. Consent me, I can drag dance. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, how are you? I've seen your Gert Gaming Twitch channel twice. Great job. I love that style. A backstabbing goodly time. Good. I mean, it should have 1 billion views. I'm about to do custom overlay for my stream. Take a look. Set address in my account picture. Have a really nice
That's
day.
a spammer.
PS. Okay.
Yeah, they just copy paste your title and stuff, your name.
Yeah.
It's probably a script.
Well, that makes me a little
Renthar
sad. I was
says yes,
excited.
please.
What's that?
Renthar says yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. So now I'm going to be back down here by myself.
You'll be fine.
What if I'm not?
Then you won't be fine.
You ready to drag a second corpse?
Well, yeah. Okay. I successfully hid the first time several times in a row earlier, so it makes sense that I can't get it now. Come on.
What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna hide so I can drag his corpse.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you failed that many times.
I've failed 4 times in a row. 5. I have failed 5 times in a row. I'm already sneaking. My sneaking has worked. Okay, there we go. All right, and corpse is 6. Yep. And let's go first person so that I can. Did I? Oh my god! My fucking right click.
User
My fucking
error.
right click unhid me. Okay. Okay. It's cool. It's cool.
It just looks like a corpse climbing a hill by itself.
And now walking out a door.
Oh, hey, John. So Ranthar died.
And I'm
The
taking
other
care
two
of
of
it.
us are fine. I think we killed like 6 enemies.
Yeah, something like that. I got it. I'm good. John Littlefoot laughs at Ringar. Rinthar.
I like all the EQ emotes. They did a good job on them. And I gotta say, not only is the sound design in EQ very memorable, but so are the icons, the spell icons and the loot icons. I feel like when I'm 50 or 60 years old, if I were to see
There
one
he
of those
is.
bone chips, I'd immediately think of EverQuest.
Back at the entrance.
Just that memorable.
And now I'm going to go down. Ooh, back down to the place where the cool stuff happens. I wonder if I can... This... Ooh. There we go. Now I've got a... my lockpick is right here on my bar. So if I click it... Yes! Perfect. So now anytime I run into a locked door, I can just be like... Boom. And open the door.
When he went and he died, he must loot his insides. It's amore.
This ain't cheesy. It ain't easy being cheesy.
I'm level 11 on this character. 11 monk. I have characters on blue, green, and all that stuff. I'm scattered around. I'm just playing on monk right now because it's pretty much the only character I had that I was around my friend's level. He's playing a rogue, also level 11.
Why did my sneak turn off? I don't know. Oh. Oh, wow. I can just use sense traps to become better at sense traps if I'm in a dungeon? I didn't know that. I'm gonna get better at sense traps. I don't sense any trap.
Can't go up there. I can't come to help you guys right now because there's a bunch of enemies between us.
Really?
Oh, hi.
I don't sense any traps.
Neither do I.
I still don't sense any traps. I'm better at sense traps 13. John Littlefoot says I'm a trap. A reverse trap?
I'm so strong, I'm so mighty, I'm so good at the fighty.
And Thar says oof.
Oof.
Oof. I love the way the dwarves, whenever the dwarves get hit, they go, oof! So satisfying. It's like... somebody hit the mummy first. So let's kill the mummy.
I hit the mummy because someone else was already fighting it.
Okay.
I just saw its health going down, so I'm like, that's the one.
How backstab missed. Alright, you got the mummy. I'm gonna kill this greater skeleton.
Is a greater skeleton greater than a lesser mummy?
Oh man. I don't even know. That's like a philosophical.
What's the undead hierarchy here? Who answers to whom?
I don't know. The ghoul says that we've disturbed his rest, and we must suffer as he has. That makes me scared, so I'm gonna hide.
We will make him rest for all eternity.
Gotta get my skills up.
Oh, fun. I'm going for the mummy. I just press tab. Whatever it targets first.
Okay.
I remember when Green launched, they didn't have that. You couldn't cycle through nearest. Or maybe... Wait, you still can't cycle. Never mind. I think they did have tab target. It just didn't work right at first.
I know that cycle NPCs is an option that you can set in your keybinds, but it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, it works on blue, not green. I guess it wasn't classic enough. Oh, you have no Ma now.
What's that?
Without the mummy, there's no Ma. We have no chaperone,
No chaperone.
no responsible adults anymore.
Was the mummy our chaperone? For the.
It was our mummy.
For the. Man, I know there's a pun there, but I can't think of it. There's a word that sounds like something that has to do with, like, both dances and graveyards, but I can't remember what it is. Or it sounds like there's a word that has something to do with graveyards that sounds like a word that has to do with a dance, like a ball. But I can't remember the word. Or maybe vice versa? I don't remember. Oh well. The joke was not meant to be, obviously.
What was all that? You wanted to dance on graves? That's disrespectful. No wonder these befallen undead are unhappy.
I mean, this is a mausoleum. Or is it a crypt? Or is it a sepulcher? Who knows? I honestly don't know whether this is a crypt, a sepulcher, a mausoleum, or really what the difference is. There's a lot of undead here, though.
But whatever it is, something has befallen it.
I think I hate you.
I think I hate me too.
Oh, man. I'm almost level 12. I'm
Yeah,
half
you're
a bubble away.
60% ahead of me now. 60%.
Did you die?
Nope.
We're supposed to be gaining experience at the same rate because we're in a group together. That
I can't
seems to
remember if
not
it
happen.
was when you logged out last night. I can't remember if there was a 25% difference or a 35% difference, but I remember we were talking about it.
You said it was about 30, is what you said.
Okay.
I remember that very distinctly. I remember you saying Shadow Knight. I stabbed her right in the asshole.
That
It's
wasn't very
not a very
nice.
fun place to be stabbed. What?
No, but I mean, it was a bonding experience. It brought you two
Well,
closer.
she dropped a pretty rare piece of equipment, an antiquated silver band. You've got better. I've got better. I'm going to give that to our buddy here.
Antiqued.
Yeah. Antique. What did I say?
Antiquated. Which is a real word, but that's not the word they named it.
It is
Antiqued.
not the word name. It is antiqued. I think antiquated would sound better.
Antiquade.
There.
Yep, antiquated.
Now. Here.
But they have it spelled antiqued for some reason. I guess they're both words.
They are both words.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'll give him a second, because I've got two now. Unless, of course, well, I'll just give them both to him.
Fighting undead, left and right. Fighting undead, day and night. Fighting undead till I can't no more. Fighting undead till my arms get
Is
sore.
he a warrior or a Shadow Knight?
He was warrior, I think.
Damn it. Thank you, you got us. Let's see. Well, first of all, full screen back on. I'm getting sick of that.
You can play in full screen, but capture, windowed mode, but capture it in such a way that it doesn't look like it's a window.
I don't know how to do that, though. Eh. Don't mention it.
Like you can, on the capture, you can right click and go to filters and crop and just crop off the top, the title bar.
Okay. And
Just
then I
for
could
future
play.
reference if you want to do that.
I might set that up because I'm accidentally switching uh
Yeah.
from full screen to windowed to all kinds of stuff. I might actually need your help setting my scenes up better.
Yeah.
Um,
Mine doesn't look
because
like it's windowed at all, but it is. But I didn't do the filter. I don't know what I did. I guess I'm doing
yeah,
window capture. You could probably just do window capture. Are you doing display or game capture?
I'm doing display capture for EverQuest, I believe.
Yeah, do window
Normally I use window
capture
capture.
if you play in window, and I think it looks fine without anything further.
Okay. Well, whenever I take a break to eat here in a little bit, I'll Ooh, what's this guy? He's red to us.
McCrawley. Mr. Crawley, sorry.
Hey guys,
SK
which
room.
way is the SK room? I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure. He must be a Ozzy Osbourne fan, maybe.
Mr. Crowley.
Dun 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 dun.
What you going to do? I can't believe that it is already 7:30, just about. That's insane to me.
Yep.
This game
I woke
just
up.
makes time melt away. What?
I woke up really early, and I thought, that's awesome, because when I wake up early, it feels like there's more time in a day. And then I did chores, and when I looked at the clock, it was like 4:30, and I'm like, oh man, feels like the day went away.
Because you did chores?
Yeah, I just got lost in doing a bunch of shit.
Ah, that happens sometimes.
Man, be an adult and adulting.
Adulting? Oh, there's still something here.
Oh, I couldn't see it. It's so small.
I thought it was done also. I was just standing there. I was like, oh, that was a pretty good one.
Of course you
Wait,
saw it.
I was like, why isn't John doing anything? And then, and then I saw that there's still a little gnome.
Oh, I need
Oh,
to
man.
add the third person. No, I didn't. I got it. Never mind. That's for a second I thought I didn't have all the group people added, but I'm like, no, that's right. That happened after we added this guy. So I do have it shown on my stream. That's what we were talking about before. My brain rolled back for a moment.
You had a 1 hour brain rollback?
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting pretty damn close to hitting level 12.
I'm getting pretty close to still being 11.
You're still being 11 right now.
I know, that's pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's more than pretty close. That's there.
I know, but when you're there, you're close. Now I gotta look down after every battle and see if there's a small one I didn't notice.
Yeah, I need to stop looking up. Just look straight. You guys are conditioning me for bad habits.
Ooh, choo choo.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. This one. Boom. My backstab missed. I'm gonna get that back skill up so it doesn't miss ever, and it hits for big damage. Maybe I'll even get some crits or some assassinations. I need to get some throwing weapons so that I can, Oh man, yeah, that's what I need. I need to get some throwing weapons. That way I can be like, kaboom. Because throwing weapons can assassinate, can't they?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they can.
I haven't played a rogue, so everything I've used throwing weapons for is for like pulling. For non-caster classes. I don't have anything like that on monk right now though.
Rogues typically use throwing weapons to do damage from a distance whenever they get too much aggro to stay in melee range. They back up and then use throwing weapons to continue doing damage, so they can keep their damage constant and don't have to take a break. And then they get a big assassination crit on a throwing weapon and get themselves killed. Is what they'll do. Let's see.
He was trying to loot the mob we killed, and he looked at my equipment 4 times. I wasn't even sitting next to it either. This game's weird like that sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Kind of bugs me a little bit. I just want to do this one thing. It's like, no, you must not.
Yeah, targeting's wonky.
It really is, especially with like right clicks and stuff. Bandages. Okay, and backstab. I think my backstab hit, but I'm not sure.
I think maybe when you get to like 16 or so, I might switch to either my druid or shaman or something.
Okay. That sounds cool. Backstab is so much fun.
Yeah, I have dual wield already. I don't have double attack
So
yet.
I backstabbed for 27 damage right there. My regular hits are for, like, at most, I think, like 7.
I
was using
also
a higher damage weapon.
am looking forward to feign death on this character. That's 17, I think.
Yeah, my highest hit can be 10, and I'm hitting for 27. I think backstabs can do 6-ish times weapon damage. Which means I should probably switch to one of these other higher damage weapons. Once
John
piercing
says,
hits.
12 we fear kite in Oasis.
What about... What did he say?
He said at 12 we fear kite in Oasis.
Ooh.
That's what John said.
I mean, that works for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with anything. I don't know if I'm going to be on as long tonight as I was yesterday, just because
Oh,
I'm tired.
I certainly won't be, I think. Okay, so the
Like I
serrated
said,
bone
though, I mean,
parry.
if you get past me, that's fine. I'll just hop on a different character.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to play these two characters together, I don't mind trying to stay close. I honestly don't think I did very much to get super high level above you. Because I mean, we should be leveling up at the same rate. You haven't died. I haven't died. You know, like I've certainly died more than you have.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Because you were, when we started yesterday, you were 60% past me. And it shrunk the whole night to the point where you were 30.
Well, that's because I died 3 times that night.
Yeah. And now it's back up to 60 or whatever. I mean, it's not a big deal.
No. I don't know how much you've become attached to the monk. I know that you I know that you had initially said that the monk was meant to be a temporary character.
I'm going to
Um,
keep the monk. It's not important to me whether or not it's the main one I play right now. But I
I
do
got you.
plan to keep it. At least until if I end up creating a XR one when Kunark launches, then I'll probably get rid of this one in order to do that. Because I don't, my character slots are full. And I'll just transfer all the belongings from this character to the new one.
Right.
And I actually have more enjoyment playing the priest classes, though, for myself.
Well, then, whenever I get up to level 16, why don't you just switch over to your shaman?
Yeah.
Or druid, whichever you prefer. I know that whenever you had first played, when we first started on Project 99 back on Blue, I remember that you had said that shaman was your favorite class, and that's what you played on live, and that's what you wanted to play. Uh, but you wanted to make a druid so that you could help the three of us that were playing out by teleporting around, um, and being able to port us around and do stuff and things like that. Um, and then eventually I got into the similar mindset with a wizard. I said, I'll just make a wizard and I'll play that to be able to port people around like what Kazris does with his druid. And then I kind of fell in love with the wizard and didn't really like playing other classes as much, especially once I got my wizard past about 25. Once I got to about level 25 on my wizard, I was like, I could play something lower level, but I'm finally done with all of that lower level stuff on this character, so I can actually see more of the game now. I don't know if. And then you never went back and really played the. You never went back and played the shaman. Uh, I noticed.
I did. I played
You
Shaman
did?
a lot. But I think you had stopped playing by that point. Because
I was taking one
my
of my.
druid and shaman are neck and neck in level, but the
Are they
druid's higher.
really?
Yeah,
I did
on
not
blue.
realize that your shaman was that high level. I didn't
Well,
know that at
I
all.
say neck and neck. There's probably like a 6 level difference.
Well, even still, that would mean that your druid.
Yeah.
That would mean that your shaman's probably about the same level as my wizard, and I didn't realize that they were that close in level.
Yeah, my shaman's in mid 30s, I think.
Okay.
He did a ton of soloing. Yeah, Mod Wolf. Get it, we're talking about on blue. I have the same characters on green also, recreated, but they're much lower level. So get the
See, I did
monk
not know
high
that.
enough up to do
I only
a few of
remember
the
you
quests for
playing.
the epic for
And
the
see, I
XR.
know
That's
that that's
true.
another thing that happened is that I would get bored and take a break from the game, and then you would keep playing, and then you would eventually get bored and take a break, and then while you were taking a break, I would pick it back up and start playing by myself again. You know, I know
Yeah.
that I know we kind of ping ponged like that for a very long while, not a little while, a very long while. Um, um, oh, I'm lagging
Yeah,
a
my
little.
my three highest on blue is the druid, and then 6 level difference between it and the shaman, and uh, then I have a magician in the high teens. It's kind of similar here, except with aside from a magician. On green, I have my highest is a shaman, then a druid, then this one now, the monk, and a necro and stuff.
Um, my highest on blue is definitely my wizard, and I think my wizard is late 30s, like 38, 39, something like that, maybe 40. Um, my next highest, I think, is in the late 20s, like level 27 or 28. I think that's my bard. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm pretty sure the level. I'm pretty sure that my second highest on blue is in the late 20s. I'm not sure if it's the bard or if it's the Shadow Knight, or if it's something else entirely. Oh, it's my mage. It's my mage. I'm 100% certain it's my mage. Because I needed I needed the shit. I needed the focus items and was never able to get them for one reason or another.
Yeah, I tend to be drawn to characters that can be big helps to other people, like druids porting people around, my shaman buffing the crap out of people, even the mage. You could summon a lot of stuff for people.
Yeah, I'm similar, actually. With a couple of exceptions. In most games, I tend to gravitate towards pet classes first. My mage was one of the first characters I made. I think it was the second or third character that I made. It's a no mage.
John says he
And
never helps people.
who?
John, he says he never helps anyone.
Oh, yeah, I figured that. um, no, but I think my mage was like second or third character I made, because I know that I made the Wood Elf Ranger first. And I made the Wood Elf Ranger first because I like nature themed classes a lot. I like pet classes a lot. And so I tend to gravitate towards one of those two things as my first character. Um, and So I made the Wood Elf Ranger first, and the reason I made the Wood Elf Ranger first was because that was what I played in EQOA. That was my main in one EQOA was a Wood Elf Ranger, um, and I wanted to recreate that character, um, and really take it up and follow it through and try that out. Yeah, so I did that, and then I discovered that Rangers don't work so well. They're kind of garbage. Unfortunately, I wish that wasn't the case. And I don't know. I shouldn't let stuff like that sap my enjoyment of things. But it does a little bit, not a ton, but it does a little bit. I found out that Rangers were literally at the bottom of the pile in terms of how effective they were. They were a DPS class that did the least DPS. They were designed with the they were designed to be able to off-tank, but weren't given any of the tools to off-tank. And they had a lot of utility that only worked when outdoors, and all of it could be done better as a druid than as a ranger, with like one exception, which I think is tracking. The bow and arrow, which was the way that I wanted to be able to play it, because bows and arrows are awesome. Bow and arrow was, or rather, in this era of EverQuest, is not a main weapon and is not intended to be a main weapon. It's a backup. Um, it is the damage that a bow and arrow does is based off of different stats than than how damage is done with your melee weapons. So if you want to do a hybrid melee bow and arrow thing where you actually like reliably use the bow and arrow and your melee weapons, you don't have enough stat points to really go around until very late levels with magic gear to be able to see any of that kind of damage. And yeah, there's just a whole mountain of problems that Rangers face in this game that I did not know about and discovered, and all of them eventually added up to sap my enjoyment of the class to the point where
Ranger tracking is
before I
much
think
better.
I even hit level 10 on that character, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something else.
I put good
Because
use to the druid
it just
tracking
sapped
though.
all
I mean, I
the
know
fun
it's
out of it for me.
not nearly as good, but it
Just-
came in handy for me
I
in
don't know.
finding people and
And I
stuff.
shouldn't let stuff like that affect my.
Isn't druid limited to 50 in tracking? Not 20? I may be remembering
And that's
wrong.
different from saying it's like, oh, this is underpowered. Like, that doesn't bug me. Like, somebody saying, well, rogues aren't really very strong right now. Or at this stage in the game, rogues aren't strong. That doesn't bug me at all. Because the things that they can do, they do well. Oh my god, stupid mouse. Things that they can do, they do well. And yeah. Like, backstabs are fun. Sneaking.
Oh wow, so yeah, if it's 20 right now, it sucks.
Sneaking is awesome.
Because one of the things I was looking forward to in my druid was when I got tracking.
Lock picking is cool. It's not used as often as I would like it, but it's cool that it exists, and whenever it is used, it comes in very handy. Like in this dungeon. It's not used super often, but it's pretty nifty here. Damn it, tab. Is there anything else? I can't think anything else. But yeah.
Someone in my chat saying that ranger tracking is super vital right now because, druids at the moment only have 20 tracking.
Really?
And they get 50 later on when Plane of Sky releases.
See, and maybe they shouldn't have buffed Druid's tracking. Maybe that would have made Rangers a bit more viable. Who's this guy? He's red dot.
Yeah, Druid does tracking. Tracking does suck now, but I like the Druid's tracking on blue. It helped me. I would constantly find Gert or one of my other friends playing using track and just like drop in on them. Or when I was porting people and they would say, "Can you give me a port?" And I'd be like, "Where are you?" They're like, "I don't know." And they'd be lost. And I'm like, "All right."
I can't tell you how many times I'd port. Somebody would send me a message for a port on my wizard, and I'd ask them where they were. They'd give me the zone. I'd port to the zone, and then I'd say, "Okay, I'm at the spires," and they'd say, Can you come get me? And be like, well, first of all, normally the answer to that question for me was, no, I cannot come get you. I am a level, 36 wizard, and this is a level 42 zone. You gonna have to come to me. Sometimes the answer was, where are you?
Yeah.
or that depends, Um, but no, yeah. I don't know. Like, that's the other thing is that we never played on Blue in its early stages. I don't. We played on Blue after it had we didn't even start playing on Blue until after Kunark had released.
I feel like I played on Blue before Kunark, but not at launch.
Well, if you played on Blue before Kunark, then you played before you told me about it.
It's possible. I'm trying to remember if I'm right. But
Because I believe
I remember the thought in my head that I can't wait till Kunark comes out, and it wasn't recent, so it couldn't have been green.
um um you remember having the well, I remember when we first started on Green, you did say, "Man, I can't wait until Kunark comes out," because you wanted to make the Ixar monk. That was what you had been dying to try that, but you wanted to play on Green because it was going to be the progression server, I remember that very clearly.
Yeah.
Or maybe you wanted to do a Ixar shaman. I don't
Well, they
know.
didn't come out with everything all right on time on Blue. It was like
Right.
their trial run, and so Kunark came out a lot later than the original plan. And then Kunark, you sat on Kunark for so long before they released Velius, and that's the reason why the economy got all screwed up.
Yeah.
Part of the reason, anyway.
Is
So
the
I
ghoul
can't
hitting me
remember
off?
exactly what the timeline was.
Well, I remember looking it up once and seeing that they stayed on Classic. They were supposed to stay on Classic for it's either 11 months or 13 months or something like that between Classic and Kunark. And on Blue, I want to say that it took them 15 months or something like that before they had Kunark ready to launch. So it wasn't a huge wait, but it was longer. And then it was supposed to be, I think, 7 months between Kunark and Velulus, and it took them like 3 years to get
Yeah, it was a
Velulus.
really long time.
Yeah. Um, so that is and I remember reading that a lot of people felt that it very much fucked up the economy. Um, 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 but yeah, no, I remember a lot of oops, remember a lot of this kind of I remember us having several of these types of conversations, about what we wanted to do um and things like that. How long are you planning on doing this? I don't know. I need to get dinner, Bella, relatively soonish.
John wants to know if you want to run Oasis and try Crocs now. I think, yeah, you need to get dinner relatively soonish. I think I'm gonna stop soon.
For the night?
Probably, or at least, if I might do what I did last night, where I might quit for a little while, eat and stuff, and then come back and play, but not stream, maybe? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no, I probably need to do something similar to that. Dinner, where are you from? USA?
He's in the guild EverQuest, so you know he's in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably stop playing, eat something. You can do the same if you want to take your break or whatever. And then, I mean, you can feel free to get back on and level a bit with John in Oasis or something. And I might hop on later and meet you guys there or something. And
Yeah, there's a couple of things that I want to do that I need to do off stream. I want to fix up my thing, so maybe I'm using a window capture
yeah.
instead of using the display capture. So that way, if I accidentally click off the screen and make it not full screen, it doesn't like blank out the fucking feed. Maybe I could even resize my window a little bit so that whenever it is windowed mode, I can see everything in it. That's why I keep. Here's a look behind the scenes. I know that it doesn't show it quite like this on the stream because I can see what I'm streaming on one of my monitors. But whenever I'm when I'm not in full screen mode, I'm losing the bottom line right here where my mouse is. I'm losing about that much to right there on my window. That's cut off at the bottom, so I can't see the most recent line of dialogue on either screen on either one of these text boxes. Um, and I can't see what I'm typing to see if I've made any typos or anything because the chat boxes are so far down right there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so whenever I'm not in full screen, I'm losing information from my screen. It's not a ton of information. Try WinEQ2. I don't have WinEQ2 right now. I used to have WinEQ2. But I lost my hard drive and I had to get a new one. And I never put WinEQ2 on my new hard drive.
Well, the good thing is you really only have to set this shit up once. Then you can just copy the UI file and everything and rename it to whatever characters you have. That's what I do. And it puts everything the same. So every time I create a new character or anything, I just create a copy of the file, rename it from the old character to the new one, throw it back in the folder, and I get in and it has the abilities where they go. It has my friend list automatically kept on a new character. It has the UI looking exactly how I wanted it. I mean, you have some things you need to alter. You know, you might have a macro that for a heal, but then you're playing a warrior. You know, so you have to remove that. But
yeah, that's exactly what I do for UI stuff. I've actually got like shortcuts and shit set up for it that are on my desktop. There's a folder that you may have seen if you go back in the stream whenever I've accidentally clicked off the window and then clicked back on it real quick to bring the window back up. There's a couple times where I've been a little bit slower. Maybe in tonight's stream, definitely in yesterday's stream. So if you're willing to sit through 6 hours of that to figure out where exactly it happened, there's a folder that's called EQ Stuffs on my desktop, and
that's where he puts the porn.
That folder, what's that?
So that's where you put the porn.
No, no, my Corna Furiona Vi is somewhere else. No, uh, the contents of the EQ stuffs folder are uh, the two files that you need to that you need for the friends list in the UI that have just been named whatever my most recently created character are, that then get renamed to a new character and then dropped into the EverQuest folder. Ugh. So the UI stuff is super easy to do if you know what you're doing. There's a couple of guides on the P99 forums on how to do it if you search for it. I'm happy to say that I, for the most part, discovered it myself, actually.
Okay. John says he's taken off to go cook.
Okay.
So we need to get back upstairs.
We
Thank you,
later.
John. And remember, if you're gonna cook something, you have to cook enough to share. Hey, maybe one of us should tell Renthar. He's probably sitting there thinking, this is the quietest group ever. They never talk. I'm so hungry. I think I'll make probably burgers again. I still have some meat left over from yesterday.
See, okay, yesterday I ended up cooking a pizza instead of making that buffalo chicken flatbread because I saw the pizza in the fridge and I was like, do I really want what I had last night for dinner, or do I want buffalo chicken flatbread?
Why did Renthar just say he's gonna AFK? Is he gonna AFK down there by himself?
Oh,
We all told him we're leaving.
oh, but I'd feel bad if he just completely and totally
Yeah, we don't want him to die.
yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. Smoked salmon sounds good.
Oh, it sure does.
That's what John's making. I would steam salmon a lot.
I've got a
Steam
whole
salmon with mixed vegetables
I've got a
and like
whole
rice and
mess
stuff.
of cold water trout.
There's a lot of enemies attacking me, and I can't get through the door because I don't have a key. And so it's a good time. Luckily, none of them are really, damaging too much. Some super duper. I have a pocket druid. Hidden John Littlefoot, Walker Texas Ranger, Virus, Clutch Heal, Pocket Druid, formerly known as all that. Smoked salmon cooker. Just add that on there.
Smoked salmon cooker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Will you
man.
come open this door?
What are you talking about? I'm already past the door.
I know you're past the door, but we're not. Open this door.
You were right there when I opened the door.
Yeah, but we were fighting for our lives down here. You don't need to sneak back. Walk like a brave person.
Nah, I think I'll sneak. There you go. Oh. I'm gonna try to shut it on you. Oh, man.
Whee!
Renthar is still down there.
I don't know. I mean, I told him we were all disbanding a good 2-3 minutes before he said AFK. Now I got the damn Mr. Crawley song stuck in my head.
Drop. Drop hide shout. There's not anything over. Kill me. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Littlefoot Walker. He's kind of like the A-Team. If you're ever in trouble, if you ever need help, he'll be there.
All right.
You
I
don't
dropped
see
hide.
me?
I don't know where John is.
Must be a bug. I'm here. I exist. I have meaning.
I mean, you're not in the same zone as me.
No, John said he can't see me and he's standing next to me. I'm like, must be a bug or something. I could see
Oh
him.
yeah, we saw that a couple of days ago, didn't we?
Yeah, something like that. Yesterday.
Yeah, with that wolf. That was crazy.
Yeah, yesterday we were in Misty Thicket, Gerd and I, and a wolf went and attacked nothing in the air. And we ran up and killed the wolf, and some guy called us jerks. But I went back and I looked at the VOD of the stream, and when we attacked it, it was fighting something that was invisible, but we didn't see it. And we didn't see that it was even attacking the air when we killed it in game. But on the VOD, I could clearly see that. Looking in the chat window and stuff, I could see that it was fighting something. So unfortunately, we cast someone, but the person was not visible to us, so we didn't know he was there.
Yeah. It was you can see me kind of jumping around on his video. If you go back, and I haven't clipped it or anything, maybe I should, or highlighted it or something. But if you go back and you look at that from my point of view, I see the wolf, like I turn and see it, and to me, it looked like it was running forward as opposed to attacking something, which is why I started attacking it. Because I thought it was coming after me. It didn't come after me. It was like I thought it was coming in to attack me, and it attacked past me, like just past me, and I was like, "What the?" But then I was like, "That's weird," and started attacking it. And it was because it was attacking that other guy, I guess. Oh, there he is.
And I wish I would have messaged him and said, sorry, dude, but we didn't see you there. But because I hadn't looked at a video of it or anything, I just wrote it off as, oh, he must have been calling some other guys jerks. I didn't know for sure he was talking about us because we hadn't done anything wrong from our point of view,
Yeah. No, I thought he was talking about us because I had noticed earlier, and I didn't say anything about it, but I had noted earlier that the only people who were actually doing things right there were us together, the guy who called us jerks. I had seen him doing stuff earlier, and then a really high-level guy who was killing the guards. And I had made a note
Well,
of that.
I saw there was 2 or 3 people by the wall. By the guards.
They weren't doing anything. They sat down for like an hour.
I know, but he could have called them jerks for all I know because he didn't like the way they sat. I don't know.
Well,
it's possible that they said something to him, so I was writing it off as it wasn't anything we did because, if someone calls me a jerk and I just hit him, then sure, I could say, hey, that's probably me.
Well, the reason why I didn't think about that was because we were too far away from the gate for a conversation at the gate, for us to hear a conversation at the gate. You know? So I didn't think that whatever was going on was referencing anything happening at the gate. And since in my mind there was only the four of us, us two, the guy who called us jerks, and the guy who was killing the guards. Um, since it was only those four that were really doing anything, um, and I knew that the guy who called us jerks was about our level. I also knew that from whenever I saw him earlier that day. Um, I didn't think he was talking about the guy who was kiting the guards, who was also nowhere to be seen. So I was like, okay, he's probably talking about us. Um, but couldn't. I looked around for him and didn't see him.
I guess I'll have to keep in mind in the future if someone kill steals from me, I'm gonna have to ask myself, am I invisible to him? Is this intentional? Gotta give him the benefit of the doubt now that I know there's this bug or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Although my first go-to my go-to phrase or saying or whatever whenever I kill, or when somebody kill steals from me, is not to call them jerks. It's to say, dude, seriously. Which
I usually
might
call out exactly what happened. Did you just intentionally kill steal that from me? You know, I don't leave it open to interpretation. And if they say, "Oh no, man, sorry, it was an accident," I'm like, "No problem."
I find that showing people that you're disappointed in them rather than angry at them makes them more likely to change the behavior in the future, John. That's my that's my take on it anyway. It's that I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Everybody knows that is worse. I forget what that's from, but that sits with me.
You just tell them that if Mr. Rogers was still alive, he would think that they're not being the best that they can be.
Yeah, are you being the best neighbor that Mr. Rogers knows you can be?
Yeah.
Anybody who's over about 25 is going to just feel that in their soul.
I've never had someone KS and then ask me for help, but I think I have had someone KS a mob from me. Attempt to KS a mob from me, and then end up having to run and die or whatever because they couldn't handle it.
I've had somebody KS a mob for me and then ask me for a port when I was playing my wizard. I was like, are you serious right now?
Now, there was the dude I was streaming when Green launched, a dude that kept KSing everything. He basically took over the entire zone of
yeah, I forgot about
right
that
outside
asshole.
Freeport and stuff. You couldn't get any mobs and stuff. I mean, I'm not talking about just that he was like swarm kiting or anything. No, I'm talking like you'd be in the middle of fighting something and he'd walk up and take it from you over and over. And when I mentioned it to him, he like laughed or something. And he messaged me later privately and said there was nothing I could do. And I didn't even respond to him. I just messaged his guild leader. And I was like, he's KSing in this zone, right? And just taking stuff from everybody. And he got kicked out of his guild. Ooh, this orc is gonna die. Or ogre, I mean. Not orc. No, maybe he won't die. He's making it. Yeah, every guard is
he's
up his
making it
butt.
out.
Yeah, he's got to have balls to tag one of your mobs and then ask you to heal him because he can't kill it.
Oh God! Is that what? Did somebody actually do that?
Yeah, John said a necro did that to him.
Now um, I've accidentally kill stole from people before, you know, and usually when it happens, usually you realize that it's happened, um, and you can like, and if I realize that it's happened, I'll apologize. You know, I'm like, hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. I
Oh,
didn't
John
realize.
said it happened like 10 minutes ago.
Huh? Like while we were just doing what we were
When he
doing.
was pulling for us, maybe?
That's
Say, sorry, I saved my mana for people that don't kill steal.
man. You know, I think that if I was in a similar situation, I'd probably throw a heal their way. Just because it sucks to be kill stolen, and I don't support people doing it. But at the same time, you got to think: does it suck? Does it is it worth them losing 10% of their experience? You know, because
It
that's
depends on whether it was deliberate or not.
yeah,
Like, I get what you're saying. Like, be the better person.
yeah.
But then I think to myself, I would want to be taught a lesson. I would want this person to make me a better person.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Um. No, I think I'd throw a heal their way and ask that they not kill steal in the future. And now if they kept kill stealing, that's a different story entirely. If somebody is continuously kill stealing and I've already said, hey, you know, I'm doing this. These I'm taking these mobs. Um, I've already got this one. You know, it was already mine. Uh, Stop doing that. And but they ignore me and they keep doing it. Then I probably wouldn't heal them. Um, or I might even heal them then. What I certainly would not do is if I'd healed them once whenever they did it, and then said then told them the situation, and they kept doing it, then I would definitely stop healing them. Like I wouldn't heal them after the first or second. Um, um, like I'd heal them. I'd heal them probably uh, 3 or 4 times if it was an accident. You know, if they were accidents, I'd heal them 3 or 4 times. About the third or fourth time, I'd probably be like, okay, look, you're having a whole lot of accidents, so I don't think you're actually having accidents anymore. So maybe you should go. Um, or I'd probably say, so I'm going to stop healing you because, you know, now you're inconveniencing me significantly. Um, if they purposely did it, I'd probably throw them a heal once to be the bigger person and tell them, I'm not going to save you next time. And I'd
I
tell
mean,
them
I can
straight up.
definitely see how you'd want to be a bigger person since you're a halfling.
um, I mean, you halflings have to be the bigger people because um, uh,
Yeah.
insert funny joke here.
John said the gnome necro came in and was tagging mobs as he pulled them, and then he tagged a bigger caster and needed a heal
Mm,
because John already had a bunch of other mobs on him and stuff.
right. Okay. Somebody around here is a vendor.
All right, I
Can you
think
give
I'm
me
gonna log now and
that? Okay.
eat some food
Yeah.
and stuff, and I'll probably get on to play later tonight.
All right. I'm gonna do something similar. I'll probably take an hour to an hour and a half, like I did last night. Later, John. Thanks for the help again, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna log in a little bit, not immediately. I'm currently running around. Am I level 12? Yeah, I'm level 12. I need to go back down into the
Yeah,
road a little
guys, I'm
bit.
gonna end the stream here. Thanks for
Um, but
hanging out and
I'm
watching.
gonna sell. I'm going to bank. I'm gonna trade out my
I'm gonna go ahead
759 coins.
and raid, I guess,
To
Gert.
lower some of this massive amount of weight that I've got on me.
That's who you're listening to right now,
Okay, Rusty Battle Axe. Don't
because he'll be
need.
playing a little bit longer.
Stiletto of the Blood Claw. Gonna keep that one. Rusty Short Sword. Don't need that. Dagger of Dropping. Gonna keep that.